Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to another episode of Lorelai. So, in chapter 1, I managed to get into a horrific nightmare scenario where I dropped my little sister into a pit of flames, and then my abusive father in law shook the baby that had already been dropped in the flames. Uh, don't try to make sense of it, and threw him on the ground, and then we woke up from that dream and we saw that my mother had actually hung herself in the bathroom after going through a lot of adventure, point and click adventure style shenanigans to actually break down the door and try and lockpick. It was very funny to me that the lockpick mechanic seemingly would have never worked, and so it just broke, and then my sort of maybe boyfriend kicked down the door instead, which I guess they should have done anyways. So we find the mother hanging, and then the abusive drunk uh, father in law shows up and smashes a bottle on my maybe sort of boyfriend, and then stabs the now smashed bottle of alcohol directly into the throat of Lorelai and kills me, or Lorelai. And now we're starting chapter 2. And that's pretty much what I expected. Like, almost every chapter in The Cat Lady either ended on a major success or a major failure, sometimes leading to the death. It is worth mentioning at the very beginning of the game, an old lady did tell Lorelai that she was going to die that day. And that is pretty much how the game played in the Cat Lady. Also, is that you're told you're going to die, and then you're given the opportunity to come back to life, but you have to chase after these monsters. So I wonder if we're going to just end up back in that same scenario. A lot of Lorelai feels like it is just doing the Cat Lady again, which isn't terrible, but I would like to see some slight spins on it. We have seen a little bit of that. So chapter 2 is New Girl. Chapter 1 was the Prodigal Daughter, which I've only heard of a story called The Prodigal Son, but same idea. Roseberry Lane. Zooming out slowly, and it's bright outside. It's not dark and rainy.
My first job. I can do this. But I better hurry if I want to catch the bus and get there on time.
So we are now leaving the apartment, and this is what happened earlier, except for the fact that I don't have a umbrella, and I was given an umbrella by my sort of boyfriend. There was a section at the very beginning of Downfall like this also that felt kind of off-putting in the sense that you were outside and it was bright. This is by far the biggest zoom I've seen so far. And she is really, really small here. It's nice to see that the creator of this game can draw normal buildings and normal construction and at a larger scale, because it is possible you can pigeonhole yourself into being a can we run? There was like a run button. There it is.
Wait! Hey!
Alright, so we just keep moving. Music started. Now that says Sidwell Pet Center, and I feel like we're now trapped. We can't go to the right. That Sidwell and the pet exterminator was one of the bad guys we saw in the Cat Lady. Does that inherently mean they were actually bad guys at all? Maybe, maybe not. Like, I suppose the question to ask yourself here is, do you want, in this story, which feels like it might be a prequel to the Cat Lady, explanations as to why all of the monsters that you fought in the Cat Lady became monsters? Does it really matter? Do you want everything explained to you, or do you want to see new content? And I think the better move would be to want to see new content. I'm not sure if the UK has flashing crosswalk signs like this. I guess they do. I've never seen anything like that. And also they have like red telephone booths still. I guess I have to remind myself that this is somewhere in the mid 80s latest, so maybe back then they did have flashing lights like that. It's certainly also worth mentioning that in the UK, walking to a job is a much more doable thing than many places in the United States where there just are no real sidewalks and way too far of a distance to travel anywhere. All these buildings look way better designed than your awful apartment, at least on the outside. Here we can see there's a shadow of a woman, maybe topless, etched into the wall of this building. And I wonder if that is just being artsy. She's seemingly in a forest if you look at the top there. Of course, it's flashing brighter and darker, so it's kind of hard to get all the detail. So this might be a character we've seen before in previous games, or that might just be a reference, or it might be nothing.
I can save some time if I cut through this alleyway.
See, now there would be definitely some weird temporality here and timeline changes if she happened to walk through an alleyway and run into a monster and fight a monster and then not remember it when she got back to her own house. And there's a problem in this game, I think, giving yourself the ability to run, where I hate to suggest quick time events, but since they've got controllers working and button mashing, quick time events could have worked on a keyboard or a controller. It probably would have been better to have a quick time event whenever you needed to run, because giving the opportunity at any point to run now gives the player the opportunity to potentially try and speed run a game that should not be speed run. At least not for your first couple of playthroughs. Maybe on the fourth or fifth playthrough, running through everything might make sense. Here we see a baby pram, which I think is bringing us back to the nightmare and our apartment. And it seems like there is a stray dog here eating trash or some dead animal. And then behind that is behind it is a toilet and a chair. So maybe the challenge is pretty much just the music plays a note each time.
Oh, no. Dude, you can't just park here.
So here we
Hey, move your car, mate.
we're getting trapped.
Please.
And the feeling of being trapped. I pressed forward to the right and that kicked the car, but I'm not sure if I did that or if that was just a cutscene. There is certainly a point here where our there is really not a split between cutscenes and gameplay, which that's an interesting idea. Probably not the right move for most games, but so often we see in games that it will do a jump cut or a fade to black and fade to a better animation engine, or a part of the engine that is only going to animate cutscenes, and then it will after the cutscene fade to black and fade back into the gameplay engine.
It's a fish, and it stinks.
Alright.
Ugh. I'm not picking it up with my bare hands.
Okay, we have no inventory.
I can smell it from here. I can smell it from here.
Interesting, you can use it.
Oh! Hey there, kitty cat.
A cat in the trash
What
with
are
the
you doing
trash
in that
down.
stinking old bin?
Um, I think we might be closer to the cat lady than we think. Um, there definitely was an element of people trying to kill cats.
Looks like someone's thrown away some perfectly good veggies. What a waste.
Fairly echoey sound effect here.
The way I feel right now, I could probably strangle that stupid dog with it.
Okay. So we're...
Somehow I know this cat is my ticket out of this bloody alley.
So we gotta manipulate the cat, which we have a cucumber.
Why would someone throw away a perfectly good cucumber?
Now, cucumbers, and this, you only know this if you know the meme on the internet, for some reason, terrify cats. I think the idea is they think that they're snakes. So, let's try and use the cucumber on the cat. On the boxes.
It's just a pile of dirty cardboard boxes. There's nothing in them.
Okay, well, so we use the cucumber on the boxes.
It's common knowledge that cats are scared of cucumbers, right? I'll just put it here, right behind him.
And getting so bright.
Somehow I know this cat is my ticket out of this bloody alley.
And so we're supposed to close that, I suppose. It seems like if I just kept on walking to the left, that might also be part of the solution.
That's not it.
Okay. See if we can scare the cat.
What's this behind you, mate?
Wow, that is just like full animated. And we just closed the call, right? So it seems like every time we get in this psychodrama, which that's a good phrase, every time we get closer to our sister, we're gonna have to hurt somebody else. The cat lady had made a deal basically with the devil, and that made her immortal 5 times or so.
Chains. But why?
We're hearing pig sounds. I hope I wasn't supposed to look through this later. Seeing that zooming in, but that is fairly blurry. Mirror's broken.
It's my hairdryer.
I can take that.
It's my hairdryer. What is it doing here? I could plug something in here.
Yep. And I can electrocute something.
I could never take a bath in it again. Not after seeing Mum hanging on it.
Yep. And now we are in a darker part of the fields. I feel like this game is being a little bit slower to introduce a character like the Queen of Maggots, who would be better suited to always be at the beginning of the game, as to just establish your main goal and what's going to happen. They are trying something interesting here by having you play a horror game and not really even having a goal, but that, if you're not careful, could quickly turn to just boredom and disinterest. So we're going through this field of sunflowers that's getting thicker and thicker. Where at least the original game had the cat lady. Honestly, I guess the easiest way to have done that would have been just to have a flashback sequence where the Queen of Maggots talked to the cat lady and gave her her mission. I think the top right saving icon is probably in the wrong place too. I'd prefer it in the bottom right of the screen. We're hitting a fence. And this is a fence with 3 monster heads on it. And that seems very familiar to the Queen of Maggots domain.
I can't explain why, but I feel like whatever's behind this gate is calling me.
A lot of this is definitely more imagery than reason.
It's bloody locked. Of course it is. Oh? It almost fell down. It's actually a mask?
So now we've got a pig mask, which feels very Saw-esque. Although in all fairness, I feel like the fact that there was a pig mask in Saw kind of sucked because it had really no connection to anything.
It's just a creepy mask.
It could have been any kind of mask at all. We can't kick the door down anymore. Yeah, I would have think that the audio is echoey because it was just recorded in an echoey room, but maybe it's intentionally echoey so that you could be off-put where the audio just wouldn't sound right in the location you were. If you were in a big open field and you were trying to yell and just the tiniest of whisper came out, that would be very, very off-putting audio-wise, which is a hard trick to pull off. Or if you were in a tiny echoey cave and you were screaming at your lungs and or you were whispering and it was echoing like way louder than you would expect, that would be off-putting also. Or if it was coming out faster or slower. Here we can see the sunflowers have turned into crosses, swaying back and forth. It would be kind of sucky for the afterlife to be an actual graveyard without actual crosses and headstones. This really does feel like, these games feel like something that somebody could have half thought of if they were doing LSD at the same time. Let's see, we're zoomed back in, but we are not quite there. Alright, so what I think we need to do is put this with this.
My hair doesn't need drying.
No, put this with this.
Wouldn't that be really dangerous?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're supposed to do. Is we're supposed to put the hair dryer. Maybe we combine it with the mask. Alright, so first things first, then I guess we just have to use the mask.
It's just a creepy mask.
Which these button outlines are still weird. So you can put on the mask, but I guess you need to actually combine it. Or you just have to be really close to the door. Well, if
chains, but why?
If the mask opens the door, maybe you should wear the mask the whole time. There certainly are returning to a theme here that you can't escape, and you are just going to end up in the same place. This time your father's clock is missing.
One thing I'll mess from my old life as my bedroom.
All the paintings are missing. We have a very, very different room now with a headless body. We have a mask. We have a mirror here that doesn't work.
I still can't believe she let that evil man into our lives.
This seems mostly normal. It would be very interesting if it turned out that the baby, your little sister, was also in this world, and it was acting as a purifying force, trying to balance the horror and the sickness in the mind of perhaps Lorelai, who's seeing the world as covered in blood and grotesque.
It's empty. I promised I'd keep you safe. Mom?
Bump in the bed is probably a head. So almost certainly we need to reveal it.
This is not real. None of it can be real.
So it can hold the head. I've got several different places where the body might fit.
It's our old fridge. I can't do it while holding this thing.
Alright.
God.
If the father really was trying to chop up the wife, he's not going to succeed.
It's our old fridge.
See, we might be doing this wrong. Nope. I guess we aren't. So we've found our mother's head and placed it where it needs to go.
It's me. But I'm still here.
It would be really, really twisted if it turns out that it actually was the original father, Lorelai's father, not the father-in-law, the stepfather, not in-law, stepfather. It'd be crazy if he turned out to be evil, and maybe there wasn't even ever a stepfather. There was just a older version of him when he wasn't drinking, and a bad version when he started drinking. And maybe he did kill Lorelai and his wife, Bethany. No, Bethany, I bet, is the little sister. So if this is supposed to be Lorelai, well then she has a tattoo on her arm, which I find a little strange. And she seems to be barely, almost naked.
There's a huge hole in the wall. I can see the living room on the other side.
And then what many things which were once black are now painted white, which makes them even more creepy.
It looks like me. But I know it's not real. It's all just another dream, right?
And it would be weird if this triggered a monster chasing you. Okay. It is strange to say the least that they're not reacting. I would have expected them to start talking to you.
I can see the living room on the other side.
Alright. And so this creates a different path. And I guess this is the stepfather. And his head's missing. And see, the family picture has the two characters, but their heads were turned, so maybe those heads would have been missing earlier.
Family. Is this John?
And he's like watching TV, which is then blocking the path to the right. So, yeah, we're not sure if this is the stepfather or the original father. It definitely is saving. I walk that way. Well, did I miss something?
I promised I'd keep you safe.
Or is there just another head I needed to get somewhere?
It's empty. It's our old fridge.
Yeah, this... is almost intentionally off-putting. Yeah, unless I was supposed to use the pig mask on him. I think I was supposed to use the pig mask on him. Let's try that. Otherwise, we're gonna have to walk all the way back to the other side of the long area. There's basically nothing to interact with here.
Family.
And using just stares at it. Alright, well... right bump, combine, or use. Okay.
Family.
And that did change the picture. So now you have a wolf holding the hands of the two females. Well, that was a jump scare. And he's slowly walking towards me. And now we're running. And see, this is probably where you can't go in this way. And you can't go that way. And now use this.
That could work. Except the monster isn't going to get in the bath, is it?
Let's see.
No. Something's not quite right.
Pull out the plug, leave it alone. See what happens when we pull out the bath plug. Let's see. Combine that with that. Nope.
I could plug something in here.
Okay, we've got that plugged in. Oh. That's not just... That wasn't just your father-in-law, that was also your mother. Body merged together in that also. And apparently I did not recognize that there was like water that I pulled out the plug and put the water
This must be the key
on
for
the
the
ground.
gate.
So there's definitely some psychotic, grotesque imagery there, but also some jump scares that should have seen coming, but they did manage to lull me into a false sense of security well enough because of the fact that we had placed the heads on the other two characters. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like in the cat lady in particular, there were some slightly different options you could have done, so I wouldn't be surprised if I could have put like the pig's head mask actually on my body or my mother's body. It definitely feels like there are multiple paths, and a lot of it does kind of feel like just what your first impression slash sexism or ageism brings it to. Like if you want to assume that Lorelai is the bad guy, you could have probably answered to a lot of questions and command prompts to make Lorelai the bad guy, and implied that a lot more. If you want to say that the mother is the bad guy, you could have definitely made some dialogue choices to indicate that. Arguably, they're all the bad guys.
I can't explain why, but I feel like whatever's behind this gate is calling me.
In a lot of ways, these monsters seem to represent more like mental monsters in the head of the main character instead of actual people. Which there aren't very many games out there where you go on a truly mental journey, one that actually leads anywhere. I can only really think of one game called Trauma that I tried to cover and then got copyright claimed by the creator. So at the end of that, I figured I wouldn't try to cover it again. But I did like Trauma. But yeah, that's kind of it. And that was a very indie and very not animated game. So here we go. There's a door.
Could this be my shelter in this strange world?
It would definitely be a nightmare to be even in a dream like this, because particularly if you can't wake up and you're just trapped and have to keep on playing. Because this is definitely not the kind of world where you would want to stop.
Dear Lorelai,
or where
sadly
you could
I couldn't be
stopped.
here tonight to welcome you. But please make yourself at home. The door is open. Last room upstairs is yours. Get some sleep. When you wake up, I'll be here.
So, if this is the Queen of Maggots house, that would be weird. But, whatever. I feel like we are... that might point to a timeline where there is a central character, like the Queen of Maggots and the Cat Lady, that is manipulating and interacting with a lot of people from the Cat Lady and Downfall, maybe at the same time.
What a lonely seashore. That's odd. It feels wet.
These 3 candles, and then the Cat Lady, there were candles. Maybe this is a reference to them. Should I put them out? Well, in the Cat Lady, every time you put a candle out, somebody died. Some random person. Maybe undeserving, maybe deserving person. This definitely does not look
It almost makes this place look like home.
The Queen of Maggots house, but I wouldn't be surprised if it changed drastically.
It's burning nicely.
This is really just a cabin with a massive collection of macabre items and darkness and shadow, so you can't even see most of it. I wouldn't be surprised if this cabin is actually from a memory that Lorelai once had.
Squeaky old stairs.
Or perhaps this is her dream house and her dream life that
Last room upstairs.
she's expecting or would like. I wouldn't be surprised if each of these is a portal to a new realm and puzzle. And you really have to applaud the fact that we're not sticking to any specific iconography here. It's not just Christian mythology that they're playing off of. So we're not seeing a bright red devil with a pitchfork and a tail. And if anything, we're seeing stories that are probably closer, or seeing visual elements that are probably closer to Nordic or Wiccan or pagan mythology. That would maybe explain the pig more. And the lesser I know about something like pagan mythology, which I don't know much about, the more interesting it will be, because that opens the door for much less of a rigid presentation. Was it the last door on the left or the last door at the end of the hall?
There's a strange symbol drawn on this door.
So you're given a split path here. Either go forward in the story and go to where the strange symbol is, or go through this door and wait for probably the Queen of Maggots.
I guess this is where I'm supposed to be staying.
Well, so far they've been nothing but hospitable, so let's follow instructions. I'm playing this as the good girl. There clearly is a path here where you can play this as the bad girl. And so you have a creepy, slowly warping room full of mannequins and a bed that you're supposed to sleep in, and the mannequins are in a few places moving.
Looks comfy enough, but it's gonna be hard to sleep with all these mannequins staring.
Interesting. So do we want to use it?
It leads back to the upstairs corridor.
Well, we can't read the note again. So, see if we can use the bed. I feel like I should have investigated the other room.
My whole life. All my hopes and dreams. Dead.
So she knows she
I
died.
still remember how alive I felt this morning when I stood in front of that house. So out of breath from trying to get there on time. I was that new girl, starting a new life.
I feel like they are telling a better paced story this time, flashing back to the real world and real world events, where the cat lady was all darkness all the time.
You must be the new girl.
That's a really muffled sound.
I'm sorry. The bus didn't stop.
This is a
And
nursing
then
home.
there was this horrible dog and...
Excuses. I'm not interested. It's bad enough that we're short of staff when you haven't had your training yet.
Let's see. Apologizing is the right answer.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
I don't need your apologies. What I need is trained staff, not some... whatever. You need a uniform. You can't walk around here dressed like this.
Okay.
Go upstairs. Maria's up in the laundry room. She'll help you find it.
That woman has either horrible varicose veins on her legs or a whole bunch of scars.
It's for staff and visitors, I think. I don't need anything from there.
So we have a coat rack.
This is the main staircase leading to second floor.
We have a
It looks
wheelchair.
shabby. Probably been used a lot.
Yeah,
I hope
but-
I don't have to use it. It probably takes hours to hoover this place.
Okay. Hoover being a vacuum cleaner. And see, in Downfall, there was a part where you were in a hotel and you were just kind of wandering around almost a puzzle-like environment with hallways that would twist and change. There's a lot of names on doors here.
I can see another staircase from here.
Looking for laundry. But for a nursing home and a residential facility, this is way better than the horrible flat you live in.
I can see a laundry room door at the end of it.
And it's kind of nice to have names on doors and fancy doors.
I'm supposed to get my uniform here.
These uniforms are pretty plain looking. Let's see. Hello is more of a nicer response. I'm agonizing way too much on these choices. But oddly, in the cat lady, I think some of your dialogue choices actually didn't matter a lot more than you would have thought. Are you Maria's questioning, excuse me, is presumptuous. Let's go with hello.
Hello.
Oh, bloody hell. You nearly gave me a heart attack.
And see,
Oh,
in the
silly
cat
me.
lady, Lorelai, I believe was the was kind of the happy-go-lucky, upbeat character, and now we're seeing an exact opposite personality in her, a more kind of depressed character. And yeah, I suppose that is the underlying theme of the Cat Lady trilogy, is it's people with mental illness of some sort
Sorry.
being depicted
mean to
visually
frighten
in
Oh, it's not your
crazy,
fault.
silly ways.
I scare way too easily. I'm just silly like that. Anyway, you must be the new girl. Hi, I'm Maria.
And I'm Laura. But everyone calls me Lorelai.
That's pretty.
That's a
nice
weird
to meet you, Lorelai.
change
And
in
you.
your name. Like, it would probably be better to go the other direction there. Who lengthens a name? Like, you don't do that. Nobody goes, my name is Jim, but everybody calls me James, or my name is Dick, but everybody calls me Richard. Like, supposed to get my uniform here. Have you been working here long? I'm totally out of my comfort zone, to be honest. Let's confide.
I'm totally out of my comfort zone, to be honest. I've never had a job before,
Yeah.
but I really want to do well.
Let me tell you,
You know,
never admit
I
that.
want to prove that I can do this.
Never
Be fine.
admit that. That will
I'll look
get you
after you.
fired probably in less than 5 minutes. Let's just have a nice little chat.
Have
you
you
should-
been working here long, Maria?
You should pretend like
Well,
in your first job you've
it
been
will
working
be 3
3 or
years soon.
for like 3 or 5
God.
years. Or at least you've
3
worked
years in
a
this
dozen jobs
crumbling
before.
old crap hole.
And
It's
the
that
truth
bad.
is, so many employees are so bad
Depends who you work
anyways
with, really.
at new jobs
Like,
that
you can't get on with everyone,
a
can you?
someone who has never worked a
I'm
job
supposed to get my uniform here.
is not that
It's
different.
right there on the shelf waiting for you.
The blue one.
Yep, same as mine. You'll get a couple more next week.
This
They've
is
been ordered, but there's some kind of delay. Ugh, I don't know.
Lorelai
Right.
seems to wear
Let's
pretty
get
much
changed
only
then.
red and black.
Okay, you go ahead. I'll meet you downstairs by the nurse's station. Oh, one more thing, Lorelai.
Yes?
You met Zoe, the senior carer, right? The one with the big bum and, like, really bad manners?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, don't worry too much about her. She's got her knickers in a twist over many things, but I assure you, none of them is your fault. So, Just keep smiling and she'll be alright eventually, yeah?
Well, I'll try. Thanks for the heads up.
Good. See you in a minute, Lorelai.
I wouldn't put it past a nursing facility or a residential care facility at all to hire someone who's never worked a job before and pass them off as an actual nurse.
It's not so bad, is it?
So we take it. Are we gonna put it on?
It's for hand washing mostly, I think.
Interesting that there's a whole animation there of washing your hands. Almost certainly we're gonna see that at some other point, and yeah, just a fade out to change clothes, which that's fine. I'm not itching to see Lorelai naked, particularly since I'm not 100% sure how old she is. It could be certainly a case that she went to college and went to like 4 or 6 years of college, and this is her first job just because she's been going, she's out of school, although I don't know how her family could have even afforded that. We do see the tattoos on her arms. I think that probably not the best idea, and then the socks and shoes are an awkward combination. You don't generally want to put small detailed tattoos on a character in a game, because then you have to just draw it, and this all looks like it's hand drawing, so that probably was something they regretted as a character design. It would have been wiser, in my opinion, to maybe, if you needed to have the character have a tattoo, put it somewhere on an upper thigh or leg that's not shown as often as the arms are. Although, in all fairness, it is a case probably where we may only actually see our arms in a few places. So we've got a
The
door
name tag
here,
on this door is missing.
and we've
It's
got
the
a
bathroom door.
and
It's
stairs.
the second staircase leading down to the main lounge.
So there's quite the collection of rooms we can move through.
I can get to the nurse's station from here.
Interesting. Main hall entrance. I don't even see an entrance there. It must be in front of me.
That garden looks pretty.
You took your time, didn't you?
She has
Are you always late for everything?
a different color outfit. Say nothing.
I was just changing my clothes like you told me.
Don't give me the attitude, or I'll make sure Mr. B hears about this.
Here's Mr. B.
This is a serious institution. There's no room here for slackers. Well, I guess I should introduce you now. Girls, we have a new carer with us today.
I guess that's what
Her
they're
name's
calling
Laura.
her.
Hi.
You've already met Maria. That's Nisha. She's from India.
I wonder
Nisha.
And I'm Zoe.
if there is a
I'm one of the senior carers.
interesting. She
and
interrupts
I'm in
her,
charge
and
in
it's
the absence of
interrupted
Mr. B,
by overwriting
manager
on the
and
subtitle.
the owner of Pinecroft. He's the chap who did your job interview last week, Laura.
Yes, I remember him.
We must ensure the place is in top shape in case he pops in to check on us. The night staff have
I
already
wouldn't
handed
be
over to
surprised
us,
if there
and they've
is a
gone
possibility
home.
here where you get fired
missed
at the
that,
end of this
Laura.
story.
Because you were late. There are 15 elderly residents living here in Pinecroft. Most of them suffer from advanced dementia and Alzheimer's. Some can be difficult.
15 seems like a
Some
large
can
number
be
if we're going to
aggressive.
end up killing.
So I'd
all
like
15
Laura
of
to
them.
shadow one of you girls today. Nisha, would you mind showing Laura what to do?
Can I do it?
No, Maria. Nisha's worked here longer than you, and
Mr. B asked me to go around with Laura yesterday. I promised him I would.
But-
Hmm.
You don't mind, Nisha, do you?
I don't mind.
Thanks. You're a star, Nisha.
Interesting.
fine, whatever.
I feel like Laura
I'll work upstairs with Nisha then.
specifically
You two
may just want
will
to
wash
chat,
and dress the ladies on the ground floor.
and
Oh,
maybe that
and
is a
new
question.
lady who moved in last night into Beryl's old room. She's yours too.
Really?
Yes.
She may not have wanted to pair up
She's
with
easy.
me.
Didn't even
if
move
I hadn't
so
been
far,
nice.
apparently.
Nicer
I'm
too.
sure you can manage.
Although I also kind of question whether the story would go in different
You come in,
directions, and have you go through and deal with characters on the top floor versus the bottom floor. Why did you choose to work with me? Let's ask about Mr. B.
Did Mr. B really ask you to mentor me?
No. Mr. B doesn't give a rat's ass. But shush. That's between me and you, yeah?
Why did you choose to work with me?
Oh, you know, I like to punish myself.
No, really. That was nice what you did. No offense to Nisha, but I think I'll enjoy shadowing you more.
Of course you will,
Lorelai
because I'm the best.
really does
You
come
might well
off
be,
as a
but your days
goth,
are numbered.
which the
Just
goth
wait and
culture
see.
is much bigger
New
in the
girl
UK,
will climb right to the top.
Please do.
or at least more accepted
then
in the
you'll
UK.
have to work with Zoe every day.
Huh? Why?
She likes to work with the best ones, so they do everything for her.
Oh. Well, I think it's official. Zoe hates me.
And then it jumps
She
to
is a bit of
the
a bully,
third
I told
option,
you earlier. But don't let it upset
but
you.
it leaves out the
Like
fourth
earlier,
option.
it wasn't really a good idea to argue with her about being late. She'll always have her way.
Okay.
But we shouldn't really be talking about it here.
So I made a mistake there.
What do we do now?
We should start working, I guess. But first, let me show you a couple of things.
I could see a lot
This little
of
desk
normal
is
characters
what we call our nurse's station.
not wanting to
That's
deal
where we
with
keep care files and
Lorelai,
stuff.
just
This white
because
door
she
in the middle, that's kitchen.
looks like a depressed
Don't
rock
bother talking to Al. He's a
fan.
good chef, but he drinks too much. Everyone knows that.
This feels like this is gonna be slow.
That's the main lounge. There's another one, but smaller. You probably went past it earlier.
Best case scenario is that this would
Fire extinguisher.
end fairly
I know,
quickly,
boring.
fade back
But you'll
out.
be getting your fire training every 6 months. Triangle of fire and all that. I promise you'll be sick of it.
And what's that fancy panel for?
That? Oh. It's the alarm bell panel. You see, there's a bell in every room. If someone needs help, they ring it. The display will show you the room number. You silence the bell here, and then you go see what's happening. But no one ever uses it. Unless by accident. These poor old ladies can't even remember their own names most of the time, let alone something like this.
Oh.
Yeah. I think we'll start with Marjorie. She's a nice lady.
See, this definitely
Follow
could
me.
be a kind of nightmare scenario. Am I back in the control? Where we have to see every single character
It says Dorothy on the door.
and deal with all 15 characters. And I don't think I want to go through that experience, so hopefully we go through the store and something different happens. I'd frankly prefer the grotesque horror stuff than just a standard adventure experience as being a carer in a nursing home. Although they do have the opportunity here to probably gross me out a little bit, and like by just showing an old demented lady. Let's make a new save. I haven't saved in a while. But yeah, you could certainly see the horror of real life in this instance, and have to actually deal with a demented old lady. But that can only go so far. At a certain point, I don't want to be playing a residential nursing home simulator. Anyways, we've been going for about an hour, so I'm going to end it here. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.